Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Oilers Rundown. Well, it's an off day here for the Edmonton Oilers and the entire NHL for that matter. Kind of strange that you have a Friday night and absolutely no NHL game scheduled, but is what it is. I believe every team is in action tomorrow night, and the Edmonton Oilers, of course, among them, taking on the Vancouver Canucks at 8 p.m. at Rogers Place. Looking to bounce back from a pretty bad collapse, up 3-0 on their rival, the Calgary Flames, in the season opener, and they let it slip away in a 4-3 shootout loss. But they do at least pick up a point, and will be looking absolutely for 2 points against another rival in the Vancouver Canucks on Saturday night. And the big news in one of the intermissions, I believe it was the first intermission of Game 1 of the season, was that the Edmonton Oilers were in talks with free agent Jack Roslovic, and yesterday that became 100% official. The Edmonton Oilers have signed Jack Roslovic to a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. The deal includes a no-move clause that also becomes a 4-team trade list November 1st, which means starting November 1st, he cannot be waived, but he can be traded to the 4 teams on the list. So a bit of a different contract there for Jack Roslovic, but he came in on a cheap deal, brings some much-needed skill to the lineup, and $1.5 million. You can't really argue with that, so I don't think the Edmonton Oilers are going to have too much of an issue with Jack Roslovic, and hopefully he can come in very soon and make an impact for this team. But unfortunately, it won't be right away. Oilers insider Tony Brouwer reporting Jack Roslovic has passed his physical, but will not play Saturday versus Vancouver. Chris Knobloch says he would like to get him in for a few more skates before he comes into the lineup. It's confirmed that Jake Wallman will not play versus the Vancouver Canucks, and Darnell Nurse, who was not on the ice for practice this morning due to an illness, is expected to play on Saturday. Here's a look at the lines and pairings from today's skate. It continued to be a top line of Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, and Trent Frederic, a second line of Mangiapane, Nugent Savoy, a third line of Podkolzin, Philp and Kapanen, a fourth line of Howard, Henrique, and Tomaszek. On the blue line, Ekholm and Bouchard, Kulak and Eberson, Stetcher and Regula, and Jake Wallman was skating as the seventh defenseman, but like I said, he will not be good to go against Vancouver, and right now, Stuart Skinner is the expected starter against the Vancouver Canucks. Also regarding Jack Roslovic, we found out that he will wear number 28, Connor Brown's former number, and Quinn Hudson, who had number 28, will switch to number 23 down in Bakersfield. And Tony Brouwer also noting, after scoring in his Oilers debut on Wednesday, Andrew Mangiapane is set to play in his 500th NHL game on Saturday versus Vancouver. And Tony noting here, he continues to stay on a line with Nugent Savoy, so hopefully that line can connect for another big goal for the Edmonton Oilers, maybe even multiple ones, on Saturday night. As we know, GM Stan Bowman has been very busy getting Jake Wallman signed, Connor McDavid, Matthias Ekholm, now adding Jack Roslovic, and apparently the Edmonton Oilers are still in the market for some more top six help. Obviously not immediate. This would probably be something more towards the trade deadline, but one name that is being mentioned by insider David Pagnotta is Alex Tuch with the Buffalo Sabres. David also noted this morning he's interested in staying in Buffalo. He has not closed the door on the Sabres at all, but given the circumstances, given where the team's at, this is going to take a little bit of time. So I believe Alex Tuch is a native of Syracuse, New York, very close to Buffalo there. So I imagine his preference would be to stay, but at the same time, I'm sure Alex Tuch would love to get onto a team that's really competitive here, like the Edmonton Oilers. So that could be something we see happen later on in the season. We know the Oilers have also been connected to guys like Brian Rust with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So a few different names to keep an eye on there going forward for the Edmonton Oilers. We're not expecting anything else immediate. There was also some talk that the Edmonton Oilers would like to extend Brett Kulak, but nothing immediate is happening on that front. So we shouldn't expect a Brett Kulak signing tomorrow, although it has been strangely quiet here in Oil Country. No big signings today. But I think Jack Roslovic might be it for the Edmonton Oilers for the time being. But Brett Kulak, someone possible here in the future. And of course, like I mentioned, names like Brian Rust and Alex Tuch, names to keep an eye on here for the Edmonton Oilers heading towards the trade deadline as possible new acquisitions to further bolster the team up front. And we'll see if things change on the Stuart Skinner front. We know Connor Ingram is a possibility for this team, I think, much later in the season. Skinner had a rough go of it in game 1 of the regular season, no doubt about it, but I'm expecting a much better performance against the Vancouver Canucks tomorrow night at 8 p.m. at Rogers Place. I will be in attendance once again, as will Oilers superfan Russ Jericho, so we'll probably have more for you guys from Rogers tomorrow night. But I think that's all I have for now, guys, so we'll see if anything else transpires in the meantime, but if not, I'll get more out to you tomorrow ahead of game time and probably following the game as well, so be on the lookout for that. Let me know your thoughts on all the latest developments in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.